good to see everyone here at the Magic Parlor of Windsor, the place where magic happens. And speaking of magic, I'm honored to introduce the very talented magician from west of Indianapolis, about 2 hours southwest of Indianapolis. Basically, he's been performing for many, many years now, but his primary focus is mentalism. He's a member of the IBM, International Brotherhood of Magicians, and is considered a professional speaker as well. In fact, he has performed a TED Talk. Wow, how great is that?
Yeah.
Please put your hands together and welcome the magic, the mystery of Louis Chaney.
Thank you all very much for having me here. This is a fantastic place. I walked in, I'm not kidding. I saw this setup and I got chills because this is just a pristine place to come and do this with you guys. And you're my kind of audience. I work stuff that's up close and personal. So you guys are right here, or you're right on here on top of it with me. And as they've said in some of the other worlds of magic, there's no camera tricks here, all right? But what I do is a little bit different. And I'm going to start off with something a little strange with you guys. Let me ask you all a question. You all will recognize this. What do I have?
Key.
What kind of
Skeleton key?
Exactly. Young kids don't realize this, but this is a key that used to go to every lock in your house, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. My grandmother, this key belonged to her. Actually, it started off with my great-grandmother. My great-grandmother was born in 1869 and died in 1949. I never met the lady. Didn't know her. This key was passed down from her to my grandmother. Take a look at it. When my grandmother passed away, it was passed down to my mom. Mm-hmm. When my mom passed away, it was passed down to me. Now I remember my other grandmother had those locks. You remember the locks this thing went to?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Those big, ugly black things that had the little knob on the top, and it was every lock in the house opened by this key. Well, I had a strange dream the other night. Very strange dream. In the dream, I'm standing in front of my grandmother's house. Now you have to understand, guys, the key went to this house. This house burned when my grandmother was 4 years old. All I've ever seen are the pictures of the house, very old black and white photos. But in my dream, I'm standing on the front porch of this house, and I'm holding this key. And I'm thinking to myself, where is my dream going to take me? And as I stood there, I noticed around me, I'm a big Halloween fan, so I know where this came from in the dream. It was like a perfect Halloween night. The moon was huge in the sky, shining down on the house, creating shadows. The trees, you could see the branches move in the wind, almost as if the trees were petting the house. As I walked up on the front porch, uber creepy. I'm standing here and I'm thinking, what's going to happen now as I looked at the door? Then I felt my grandmother's cold, dead hand on my shoulder. And she reached around with the other hand. And as my grandmother reached around with her other hand, she touched the key. Needless to say, I backed up. Guys, I'm not going to lie, I might have peed myself a little. I'm just throwing it out there because it wasn't exactly what I was expecting. The door swings open, and here's the thing. I was disappointed. I had made the dream too dark. There was not enough light from the moonlight to really capture what was inside the house. But as I looked further down, I saw this flicker of light coming from what looked like the kitchen. I could make out, do you remember those refrigerators that had the big front on them and the big handle?
Yeah.
You know, you put in something this much because there's that much ice. Remember these things, right? And I could see it over in the corner in this flicker of light in the kitchen. So I walk over, and in there in the kitchen is a table. Remember the tables with the scallops on the legs? Mm-hmm. I mean, this was a flashback and a half. And the weirdest thing about this was, you two were sitting at the table. I had not met you all at all until today. So I'm like, who are these folks and why are they in my dream? Okay. So I'm standing there, and my grandmother walks in. But now, instead of being dead, she's like I remember her. She's got on an apron, you know, and she's like reaching in her pocket. And I'm like, cool. I know what's going to happen now. I'm going to wind up getting cookies. No. She throws these out. I'm like, I can't escape this even in my dreams, guys. But what happened was, she looks at you guys. She looks at me and she goes, now I knew what that meant. She wanted me to perform for you guys. I knew what my grandmother could do to me when I disobeyed her when she was alive. Didn't want to find out what she'd do to me if I disobeyed her when she's dead. So I said, okay, fine, well, I guess we'll do this. And again, guys, some of this stuff I have no clue about because this is not something I typically do. But I looked at you and I said, give me a number between 10 and 20. But before you do, I'm going to count out that number of cards and add it back to itself so we have a totally random choice here, okay? Give me a number between 10 and 20.
12.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Said I would add it back. 2 and 1 is 3. 1, 2, 3. You'll be the only one to see that. Pick it up, take a peek at it if you would, please. And then I want you to stick it right back there. Then I turned to you, and I started doing this. I have no idea why. I don't do anything like this in anything I do in magic. But at some point, you told me to stop.
Stop.
Now, is that good, or should I add some more?
That's good.
That's exactly what you said in the dream. This is working out wonderful. Okay. Then I did this. Started dealing it down into 2 piles. And again, I have no idea why, guys. This is something, again, it's just not my style. It's not my thing to do. But I'm like, I'm just going to let the dream go where it goes. Okay. You've given me a number totally random. You could have picked anything. For example, if you would have said 17, 7 and 1 is 8, you'd have gotten the 8th card down. You said 12, 3rd card down. You could have stopped me anywhere. In fact, you did. I gave you the option. Do you want to add more cards? And you said no. There can't be 2 of this card in the deck unless I'm cheating, and I'm not, nor was I in my dream. But if you guys live up to what happened in my dream, you have picked 2 cards that will tell us what this card is. Let me show you what I mean. Is your card a jack?
Yes, sir.
It's the jack of spades.
Yes, it is.
Would you show everyone, please? Here's the really weird part. You know how dreams are? They never make sense. You know, your house isn't your house, your kids aren't your kids, whatever. If you had stopped me that much sooner, these would have been your top cards. Do you know what would have happened then? Absolutely nothing.
Oh my God!
Because there's no place you could have stopped me. No other number she could have given me that would have made this work out, no matter how you slice it. When I do this at the restaurant, what I do, and I tell kids oftentimes with this, when I do it, I'm like, here's the deal. Chase your dreams. Because if you don't chase your dreams, you're going to wind up working for somebody else who did. So that's the way that I want everybody to know that, all right? Now, I want to set a little something in play here. I'm going to do something at the end of this, but I want to do this right now. And I'm going to do this with you, if I may.
Okay.
I'm going to show you what I've got.
Not really. Some more cards.
I have a deck sealed inside a bag, even stapled inside the bag. They cannot be tampered with, they cannot be touched. What I'm talking about today with you guys, you ever have that gut feeling? You just know things and you don't know why you know things? You have to run with what your gut tells you. Dreams are that way for me. My mom used to have dreams that would come true. She was one of those people that would have things happen that just kind of creeped me out a lot when I was a kid. But you have these moments, these feelings when you go, I don't know why. So a lot of what you're going to see tonight is that I don't know why. This is one of those. I want you to think of a date. I don't care about the year. I want to know the month and the day. And I want it to have significance to you. Don't just pick a random day. Pick a day that has some significance and bearing in your life and just tell me what that is.
1-9.
January 9th. Okay. Just write 1-9. And remind me your name.
Sarah?
Sarah. Sarah.
Yes.
I'm going to put it on here. This will be yours, and it will stay here until I'm ready to come back to it. We'll get back to you on that.
Okay.
Okay. Here's the thing. The stuff that we do in the world of magic. How many of you have seen magic up close and personal before? Some of you have seen it before. Well, I can say, Gene, you see it all the time, don't you? Paul's like going, she's seen a few things probably. How well do you know her?
Pretty well, we've been neighbors for about 20 years.
How well do you know her?
About the same, yeah.
You guys, when you're talking, do you ever finish each other's sentences?
Not really.
You're not quite like that?
No.
Because, well, my wife is here and I hardly get to finish my sentences oftentimes. So, but you guys know each other pretty well. I want to put that to the test. Again, this is one of those things that it's going to be an intuitive kind of a gut feeling kind of a thing, all right? What I've got here 7 little stones. These are all different colored little stones. I'm going to lay them out here for you all to see.
That's exactly, there's only 6.
There's the 7th one there. He snuck out. All right. It's like, catch on to everything, don't you? You get away with anything here, boy.
That's right.
All right. Here's the thing. I want to make sure we all are on board with what the colors are, so I'm going to run through them so we're all on the same page. Pink, white, amber, blue, orange, green, and brown. All right? What I'm going to do is shift these over to here. I'm going to ask you to do me a favor, if you would. Just kind of close your eyes and face that direction for me. And I will bring you back in a moment, all right? I would like for you to think of, don't say it out loud, just think of one of these colors, all right?
Okay.
I don't want you to think of the color that is like your favorite color because that's too easy. I want to make her really have to try to get in with you on this, okay? What I want you to do is you're going to think of a color. When you get ready to write it down, I'm going to ask everybody in the audience to close their eyes as well. Print it on here so later on when I show it to everybody, we know this is to make sure later on nothing happens and you go, well, something funky happened, she was in on it. No, not at all. This is just to prove what color that she picked and no minds get changed along the way. I'm going to turn my back. You have a color in mind. I'll turn my back, close my eyes, ask all of you all to close your eyes too. And if you would, please write down the color on there. Then when you're done, turn that card face down for me, please. And grab the marker and the cap of the marker and cap it up for me.
Okay. I'm
Got
done?
it?
Yes.
Is it all face down? And you just have you stay right where you are. Now, I don't want later for somebody to think, well, okay, something happened, there's a mirror or whatever somebody could have seen, so we're going to put this in here. Out of sight, out of mind. You could have had any one of these colors you wanted, right? I'm going to leave this here with you. Okay, you may turn around. I'll have you turn around and close your eyes this time. Thank you. Mix those up for me, please. And then put them all into a straight line. She's been to Vegas. I don't know if you know this, but no matter how they come up, I'm not paying you anything. Just so you know. All right. We're going to number these 1 through 7. Which end would you like to start at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Do you want to work with the odds or the evens?
Odds.
1, 3, 5, 7. Take these away. Mix those up again, please. Straighten them back out. Perfect. Show me your magic finger. I'm so glad you picked that one. Sometimes the kids don't. Take that magic finger and touch any one of those stones. Show me your other magic finger. Touch another stone. And push those forward. Okay. Now, you have 2 remaining. Hold those in your hands, 1 in each hand. And I want you to really look at them. Okay? I want you to think about which one you want to hand me and which one you want to keep. You're going to hand me one of them. Now, do you want to change your mind or are you good with this?
I'm good with this.
Okay. Keep your hand closed right there like that. Okay. You may turn back around. Here's what we've got, guys. 7 stones. You didn't pick like your favorite color or anything like that, right? You guys have known each other for 20 years. I asked you, did you finish each other's sentences? You said no. But I think you finish each other's thoughts, or you think along the same lines. Have you noticed that? Do you guys kind of have that kind of a symbiotic thing?
Yeah.
In some cases, yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to find out just how much. Because you wrote down a color. None of us saw it. My back was to you. The camera may have seen it, but the audience did not. Would you do me a favor? Hold this right here like this for me. When I count to 3, I want you to turn that card over. You'll look at the card. On the count of 3, you'll open your hand. You'll look at her hand. This is about you two. This has nothing to do with me. This is about seeing if 20 years as neighbors have connected you in some way that you can't explain. 1, 2, 3. She chose green.
Green, oh
And she
my
has.
goodness. Good job, ladies. You are so connected.
That's bizarre. That's not anything to do with me, guys. That's everything to do with you all. Now, we're going to do something now that I like storytelling. When I get into doing things in magic, my first thing is, in everything I do in my professional speaking life and in my magic world, I like to lift people up. Because for the time we spend together today, in this 20 minutes here or so, your troubles are not going to be here. You're going to think about all kinds of other things going on here, but I take that away from people. It changes their perception of time, whether I'm doing it in the speaking world or doing it in the magic world. I love telling stories. I come from a news background. That's what I did. I've told tens of thousands of stories, everybody from the homeless to the rich and famous. This is a story that I have to share with you guys that's a little bit on the strange side. So let me do this. I'm going to do this with you.
Peggy.
Peggy, we're going to do this with you. Imagine you're sitting in a bar. A bar long ago, somewhere in the late 1800s. Not just any bar. Even by the standards of that time, this bar was already aged by 100, 200 years. Wooden bar. The booths are wooden. The lighting, there's no electricity. It's gas lanterns, and they're flickering. Over here, you hear somebody laughing. Over here, someone's singing. There's a lot of joy going on in this bar. You've had your share for the night. It's raining outside. You want to go home. You don't want to go out the front door because, well, it's closer to go through the alley. So you head towards the back door. As you turn, there's a man in the back, near the back door. And he's looking at you. He's rolling something on the table, picking it up, rolling it again, picking it up, rolling it again. You're walking that direction. You can't make out exactly what he has. You can see this bag on the table next to him. He has a top hat on the table. He has a cape on, black on the outside, red on the inside. He has a cane propped up against the booth. As you head towards the door, you get closer and you realize he has a single 6-sided die. He's picking it up, he's dropping it, it rolls. He looks at the die, he looks at you. Does it again, over and over. The light flashes across his eyes. And in that moment, you see some mystery, maybe a little bit of mischievousness, and just a hint of danger. But you're intrigued. He's smiling. You walk over. He picks the die up. Would you hold your hand up here, please? He sets the die on your hand. He invites you to roll it, so hold it up high. In a moment, you're going to roll the die, and as you do, it's going to go into slow motion. So roll the die. You can see the top of that die. It only has 6 numbers on it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. What number did you roll?
5.
He looks at you. He smiles. He looks at the die with a 5 on it. He reaches into the bag and he takes out some cards. You rolled a 5. This is your 5. Not the 2, not the 3, the 6, 1, or the 4. You rolled the 5. He slides the card over to you. He smiles at you. Turns the card over, and it says, "Be nice." Now, you're just lifted up by this man. He's made you happy. So you extend your hand out as a lady would. He kisses your hand, bids you good night, and you smile as you walk out. And as you walk out, he watches you and he smiles until the door closes. Then his smile goes away. His eyes go steely. He's not happy with you at all, baby. Not at all. See, you rolled the 5, the number that says, "Be nice." Because had you rolled any other number, you'd have been the next victim of a man they called Jack the Ripper. Kind of crazy stuff. When I sat down and wrote this, I scared myself. I'm literally sitting in my house. I got the headphones on. I'm listening to this music, and it's really creepy like that. And I'm going, okay, this bothers me. All right. Now, I told you a while ago we're going to come back to what I was doing with you. You picked, Sarah, a date that means something to you. If you don't mind sharing, what does this date mean to you? What's the significance of the date?
It's our first grandchild's birth date.
How old is this grandchild?
3. 2.
3.
So he's
2.
2. Yeah.
Congratulations, because I have one that's 1 and 7, and you see the gray that she's got and a little bit on my temples. I thought my kids gave it to me. No, my grandkids are giving more to me, and it's happening at a faster pace, but I love them. This is a very significant date for you. Now, I want to hand you something. What is that?
Planner.
A planner. It's a calendar, right? Now, what is this?
A deck of cards.
Have you all ever heard the connection between the two of these things?
No.
Nobody knows for sure when cards came into existence and how they morphed into what we now play a lot of games with. But even some people today still will use these to do fortune telling. They will use these things to see into the future, talk about your past. Often they use other kinds of cards, but these can still be used for that. We know the calendar came around like in 1500, something like that. That's when we started using the Gregorian calendar. But there's a connection between these. You can look this up online. I'm not making this up. There's a connection that's unreal. How many seasons do we have?
4.
How many suits?
4.
52 cards in the deck? 52 weeks in the year.
Right.
13 tricks to be had, 13 phases of the moon.
Yeah.
If you add up all the spots on the cards,
306.
you get 364. But you toss in the jokers, you get 365 and leap year.
And maybe.
Nobody knows why there's this connection, but it's very, very odd and eerie. So I wanted to try something with that. I wanted to play with it. I took 7 decks of cards, brand new, opened them up, mixed them up in a giant bowl, okay? And I started just turning them around and pulling out a card. As I pulled out a card at random, I started with January 1, I wrote a card, put it aside. Did this for all 366 cards that I had in there to make sure I had everything covered. There's no way for me to know what's on what date. That's just too much for me. My wife sitting right here, she will tell you I suck at math. This is not going to happen with me.
Yes, he does.
But I want you to do me a favor. I'm going to turn my back.
Okay.
I would like for you to look in there to January 9th, if you would.
Okay.
There's a card on there. Don't say it. Don't tell me what it is. I simply want you to memorize what card is written on the date for January the 9th. Tell me when you have that.
Okay.
You good?
Yes.
Okay. Now close it back up for me.
I did.
All right. Now, do me a favor. Pass it to Jean. Jean, would you look up January the 8th, please, and memorize the card on that. I'm going to turn my back again. Are we good?
No, I did.
Yes.
Okay. And just close the calendar back up. Okay, straight up here. Is your card different? Did you see what she had? Did you see what she had? The card she...
Different.
Okay, so they're different.
They're
Okay.
different, yes.
So if you'd have picked January 8th, you'd have had a different card than the one you have right now. Okay. Jean, would you be so kind? Tear that open and take those cards out. You can just rip the plastic. I don't know if you'll get past the staples like that.
You got the hard job.
Yeah.
Okay, I want you to take the cards out. And I want you to look through those cards and find the card that you have memorized from January the 8th. And also you can verify to everybody else, they're all different. They're not the same when you get it.
Yep.
Okay. You got it?
Yep.
May I see it, please? Just hand it here. This is what's on that day. Okay. Have you do this for me now. Come right up this way for me.
Okay.
I want you to take these, count, I'll count them for you.
Okay.
One card at a time, you'll turn them face up. When you see your card, stop. Okay, because I want to know what number it's on. Okay? When
Okay.
you see your card, stop.
Okay.
Take those.
Okay.
One card at a time, start dealing them up. We'll count them. One,
One,
two,
two,
3,
4,
5, 6, 7,
8,
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24,
25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 34, 35,
36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43,
45, 46, 47, 48, 48.
40.
No, is that
No.
right? No, that's not right.
Yeah, it's not what I mean. I mean,
50,
you were looking
51.
kind of 50, it's only 51 cards.
Yeah, so where's my card at? You got it, don't you? Or is it in here? It's in there.
I have here.
How did you do that?
And I have here an envelope.
Oh my gosh.
This was sealed, laying out here before we did anything.
Yeah.
If you had gone January 8th, your card would have been in here. You chose January 9th. Tell everybody, what was your card?
Queen of Spades. That's spookier than your music.
Don't be heard what she said. That's spookier than your music.
Yes, it is spooky.
Guys, thank you so very much for having me. I appreciate it.